Hi guys, and welcome back to Passenger Seat Reviews. Today I'm going to be reviewing this Maserati Quattroporte.
I came to dance, 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 dance.
So what we've got here is the 6th generation Maserati Quattroporte. This one here is the V6 diesel. In the 6th generation, it's the first time they've introduced a diesel Maserati Quattroporte. This engine puts out about 271 horsepower. If you want a little more, you can go for the V8, but this is more than enough to let you drive in luxury along the motorway. Now, the first Maserati Quattroporte looked like this. The 6th generation Maserati Quattroporte I have here is 421mm longer wheelbase than the original. But that just means that you can have more room for a spacious and luxurious cabin. So now we're going to go for a little drive in the Maserati. I'm here with Kevin, who is the owner, who has very kindly let us go for a little drive. Kevin?
Nice to meet you, TJ.
Now the cabin in here is really nice, really spacious. There's lots of storage places, and it's really high quality. Do you like the cabin?
I do. I think you'll find that there's good space in the back as well, because this is obviously quite a long car, as you know.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of room in the back as well as in the front, where obviously you've got adjustable seating and steering levels, so you can get it just as exactly as you want it.
Yeah, and it's very practical as well, I suppose, taking children and...
Well, yes, although you don't want to take young children in a luxury car for obvious reasons. They don't treat it very well. So I tend to like to do it more myself.
Yeah.
Oh, shall I tell you something that maybe you don't know?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so you'll notice here
that
there's different selections, one of which is sport.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so the car is currently on sport mode. What that means is that unlike a petrol engine, the diesel engine requires an auto sound boost to give you the sound of a roaring Maserati. So that's technically done at the exhaust level.
Right.
So without it, you don't get quite the roar of the engine as you do if you're in sport. It feels the same, but it's just not quite the roar of the engine. As soon as you put it in sport, it feels a lot better. So I put it in sport most of the time.
Yeah.
Obviously there's something there for icy conditions, I guess, for better steering, I guess.
Yeah.
And I don't know what M is. Presumably manual, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there is a manual sort of setting there.
That would make sense.
Yeah. So there's no hand or steering wheel based controls for gear changing. So all the gear changing, if you do it, is done here. But obviously it's an automatic, so you don't really do it. You leave it in drive. So this is the main console, which I use obviously when I drive. So radio choice is all set up at the top.
A plan that keeps us happy too. Somewhere they can burn off excess energy and
So it's volume down obviously because we're trying to talk. And you've got your own
We don't want any music.
iPhone.
They'll get me for copyright.
Controls, obviously if you want heated seats. General climate conditions there.
Yeah.
This is the sat nav, which is pretty good and pretty easy to use.
Great.
And then you've got the phone, obviously, if you want to pester people or take incoming calls. So it's actually very friendly because it's not too far away, and it's all on screen. So there's no adjusting of any buttons sort of back here.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Which is very useful.
Yeah.
so it's pretty good.
You don't need to be looking for lots of buttons, it's all there on the screen.
Exactly, exactly.
And what I really, really like is this clock here.
That is my favourite bit of the car, because that's the very classic signature Maserati piece.
Yeah,
Is the trident
egg-shaped
fork, obviously,
yeah,
which is the symbol, and then of course the egg-shaped clock as well.
yeah, it's lovely. That's a really good
When everything else is being digitalised, it's quite nice to know there's an old-fashioned clock in your car, which I quite like.
And do you know what this button does?
No.
I don't even know what that does.
What is that symbol?
It kind of looks like a spring on the suspension.
Could be, yeah, but why would you need that? I don't know.
Maybe it's just for an extra sporty thing around the track.
Who knows?
I wouldn't really want to take this on the track because it's
Not
just
really.
nice inside to enjoy.
I think the thing about this car is it's actually one of the things I find about it. It's very long.
Yeah.
Now a lot of these luxury cars they're all 5 meters, aren't
Yeah.
they? But the problem with long cars is that when you go into traditional car parks,
Yeah.
right, because they're long and car parks aren't built for like long cars, it can be quite tricky getting in and out of car parks.
Yeah. It's actually grown about 270 millimeters since the original.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Since the original in 1963.
Gosh.
It's quite a bit. But what's really increased is the wheelbase, which has increased a whole 420 millimeters.
Wow.
And there's not great view out the back for parking.
No, there isn't, but I had an Alfa Romeo Spider once, and that had a view which was like a little letterbox.
No, so it's better compared to that.
So it's all relative compared to that, yeah. It does 0 to 60, I think, in 6.5 seconds, I think. And its top speed is 155 miles an hour.
Yeah. So how often do you use the car?
Not that often.
Really?
No. I use the other car, which you'll see there, the Nissan, just for getting to and fro from work.
Yeah.
And then I use this really at weekends. And I try to avoid going down country lanes because obviously this isn't built for country lanes and potholes and things like that. So it tends to only be used if I'm going for a long drive. And I went for a long drive yesterday when I went to see my mum and dad who live in London.
It's a great car for cruising along the motorway.
It is, yeah, and it's deceptive because once you start getting up towards, sort of high numbers on here, then you can find yourself going at very, very high speeds without realising.
Yeah, it's very stable. Yeah. And why do you think that you don't use it as often as you'd like to?
I think it's really because I think it's meant for longer driving. So for short-term driving, I use my Nissan, and particularly because I have to go through country roads, which are very often bumpy.
Yeah.
And the suspension on this is not great because it's very sensitive to potholes and road bumps.
Yeah.
So it's not meant for like country roads really.
There is tons of legroom in this car, which is great for carrying 4 people. But if you want to carry a 5th person, there's this massive thing in the middle. Come and have a look at it. And that's just not very comfy. Right in the way. So don't recommend carrying 5 big adults in this car. But there is a solution, because if you just pull this down here, then you've got some nice cup holders. The boot space in here is great. You could fit golf clubs or skis, well maybe not skis, but lots of luggage. So these are the overall scores I gave the Maserati. I thought it was a well-rounded luxury car with a focus at cruising at high speeds in luxury and style. It was very practical with its passenger facilities. It's also a very comfortable car with tons of boot space. It has a decent top speed and a soundtrack, and it is a reasonably fun car. Although I gave it a 4 out of 10, I want you guys to know that that doesn't mean it's not fun, just it's up against a lot of other cars that are extremely fun, which means I couldn't give it such a high score. As many of you know, in my last video I created the passenger seat reviews leaderboard, but I don't think that's good enough to show off the car's different statistics in different areas, so I've created 2 new leaderboards and got rid of the old one. First of all is the driving experience leaderboard. This focuses on the pure driving experience and how fun it is to be a passenger in the car. So, I added up the Maserati's sound rating, fun rating and top speed, which gave it 14 points, putting it third on the... The second leaderboard I created is the practicality and comfort leaderboard. To find which score would the Maserati get, I had to add up its boot space, its passenger facilities and its comfort scores to get the overall score, which is 25 points, which means the Maserati is now first place on this leaderboard. Finally, I'd like to give a massive thanks to Kevin for letting me review his Maserati. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that passenger seat review. Please subscribe and like. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.